Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm glad you're here. So we're gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna make some collage fodder, and I'm gonna do it with some of these supplies. So let's go through them really quick and get down to it so I can show you some fun stuff. So first off, I have some old crayons. So what we're gonna do is a wax resist on some papers. So I have some more neutral shades, and then I have some very bright colors, and I dug through a bunch of my son's old crayons and stuff and hand-me-down crayons to kind of get what I wanted. So these are some bright colors as well as white. The other ones were kind of neutrals and black. So we're going to try some different things here. Then we have watercolor paint, which is one of the things we're going to use. And then I thought maybe some of the sprays that I have could be fun. So I have some different types of inky. So this is an ink spray, and these are distress sprays that I have. These are the only ones that I have. And so we're just going to try them out. I know some of these, I know this is really bright. These are not so, well, they're kind of bright. So you know, it is what it is. So we got those. Then I also got some metallics out. So these are mica sprays. So distress micas in 3 different colors. Antique bronze, brushed pewter, and tarnished brass. So we might give those a shot because I haven't used them before. And then I have these shakers. So these are pigment powders, and I've had these for a long time. They last forever because you do not need very much of them. And they are by Lindy's. This is Guten Tag Teal, Polka Purple, and Oktoberfest Orange. And these were the only 3 colors that I bought when I had seen them in a little mixed media store in Iowa, like, man, 10 years ago or something. And then I have a bunch of papers. So I dug through my kind of scrappy and weird bin of stuff that I kind of start to collect. And I was like, okay, I just need some stuff to do with some more plain things. So there's a bunch of papers here to do more plain stuff. And then I grabbed from my leftovers from doing jelly plating, putting together some stuff for the beginnings of the neon grungy journal, because I need some neon grungy fodder. So that's what these are going to be for. So we got all of those. So all of these things are set and ready to do our little wax resist. And I activated these guys a little bit, which is just with some watercolor paint. It's not anything fancy. It's a Moda Llama is the brand. It's just some cheap watercolor that actually my son got in some stuff because he has a bunch of different art supplies too. So you don't need anything special to do these types of things. So I have a piece of parchment paper out here to kind of help with the mess that I may or may not be making. So first off, what you're going to do is you're going to do some scribbling and mark making with your crayons. So this is white, so you're not going to be able to see it very much. So I'm just going to make some circles on this one. You won't be able to see them very good right now. So once we get the ink on, or paint, or whatever we're using, that's when we'll start to see the magic. So basically this is a wax resist because your inks, dyes, paints are not going to stick to it. So it should make some interesting things. So I'm just going to quickly make some designs on these scraps with some various colors. I probably should have peeled off some of the paper on these. So I have some purple on here. Let's do a little pink. Should we do pink? Yeah, let's do pink. So let's see. I'm just going to try and do some free writing too, so we have some variation and interest on stuff. Although this one has some little smudges of ink in here already. So I'm just going to make some funky squares on this one. Maybe we'll use a couple of colors. So all you're doing is just, this is going to be background collage fodder for tags, for, you know, anything you want to use. We'll just do some other kind of color. I might throw a green on here. Well, maybe I'll use green ink on here. So we'll just do whatever. Maybe a little, let's do some of the blue. Yeah. I'm just making some designs. That's all I'm doing on this. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through and do this. So maybe I'll fast forward as I'm doing this portion. This one is really bright. Let's see. And now we're going to use some more neutrals. And so, like I said, this is some stuff I pulled out of some notebooks that had been used and stuff like that. So lots of different things. You want paper that's going to take your color well. So hopefully these will. We'll find out. So here we go. Crayon time is over. That is good. Now we're gonna go on to do, I'm trying to think of what the least messy to the most messy is gonna be. So I think watercolor might be the first go round here. So I'm gonna grab the watercolor and put this back open. And then we are going to do some watercolor, a few on each page. And I'm gonna get these, make sure they're nice and juicy. So this water, I'm spritzing onto the watercolor paint. And then I also have my little water cup here, and I have my paintbrush here already, which I have gotten thoroughly wet, which is fine. And now we are going to do some stuff with some watercolor. So first off, I'm going to use a really bright color on this. So let's go ahead, and I think we're going to do pink on this one. So we have white crayon on this. So we're going to see how this goes. So you can already see, oops, I almost put white in there. Where our scribble lines are, because this was, remember, this had white on it. So nice bright pink. And it may be that these crayons aren't fantastic enough for this either. So it is going to be an experiment to see. I mean, it's showing up in some places. Maybe if we have a darker color, we'll be able to see. So maybe we'll add a little bit. So you can see it kind of resisting in some places. Maybe I didn't press quite hard enough with that one. Could be the actual crayon itself too. Let's go ahead and let's add some little spots of green on here. Oh yeah, that looks not so bad. You can see why I said this is probably going to get messy. But it's kind of fun to do this kind of stuff too. It's very freeing to just kind of see what happens. All right, I think we'll just let this friend dry a little bit. So we'll just set this off to the side, and then we'll move on to the next one. So this is on, let's see, what do we want to use for this? Let's do this paper. This could be fun. What color do we want? Let's do, so we have a bright orange, and then our crayon is yellow. Let's do something, let's do the blue. That could be really pretty. So we're going to try and use this electric blue here. Oh, see, now this one is probably going to show up really well. See, now you can kind of see the magic of that crayon a little bit better. That first one was a little anticlimactic, but this one, ooh, that looks super fun. Love it. Oh, that's going to be so cool. To think of how many, so I have 4 different types of things. I need to make sure I leave some papers for each one so we can see what they look like in various colors too, because that's the other fun thing that I wanted to kind of show you guys, is that you don't just have to use neutrals. We're going to do some really bright stuff, and we're going to do some other as well. So that one's good. I love that as is. So we're going to set this off to the side to dry too. Now let's split these up a little bit really quick and figure out, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, because I was thinking about using some watered down acrylic too, just to show you guys that situation. So we did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, not quite even. So we did 2 watercolor already. So let's pull 2 for acrylic. I think acrylic is going to hold up best on cardstock. So we'll do an acrylic cardstock and maybe this one. So we'll do those in acrylic. And then we've got the Delusions spray, which I think that will be really fun for the Delusions spray or the Distress spray. And maybe let's do that one. So that'll be for the spray. And then we've got 3 left. Our powders. I think we'll do this one with the powders. And then we have these 2 friends, which we have the metallics, but I might blend the metallics with some of the other stuff. So we'll see. Okay, so I kind of have those sorted. Of course, I'm throwing stuff on the ground. Okay, so these friends, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's funny that I accidentally pulled 9 of each one. How fun. All right, so we need a couple of watercolor. Let's see. Let's do, I want to do that in the powders, I think. So that'll be the powders. And then let's do one of these in them as well. Let's do one with color. Let's do one with color. We'll do this one in the powders. And then our sprays, I'm going to do this one in a spray. And maybe one of those in a spray. And then let's do you with paint. And let's do you with paint. What am I missing? Watercolor. These ones can be some watercolor. Sprays. Okay, sprays. Powders. Watercolor. Trying to make sure that I'm going to show you guys everything I want to show you. All right, so these are going to be more neutral. So let's see what we got that can be a little bit more neutral in color. Let's go with, and I say neutral, but I mean like not neon is what I mean. Let's do a green. Let's do a dark green. And we can put different colors on here too. We don't have to use all the same color. So maybe we'll do some green up here. And then let's do maybe a dark purple. Just for some variation. Okay, that's nice. I like it. Are these guys getting dry? Yes. I'm running out of space to sit stuff. Let's put you over here, friend. And we're gonna do this one, and let's do this one in red. See how this works with the on the black. Oh, I like that. Maybe we'll give it some splatters of some other stuff here. Or, haha, let's try it. Let's do a little mica spray right on this while it's still a little wet. If you have mica sprays, you are already aware that you have got to shake these friends a lot. Even if you let them sit for just a minute, you got to shake them up again. Okay. Because that's what happens. They clog really easy. There we go. Come on. All right. So just a little splattering of some mica on there. And then we'll let that dry, and we'll see what it looks like when we come back after it's all dry. And last watercolor bit here, what do we want to do? So we got some like purple. How about gray? Some gray. Ooh, I like that. And of course, you don't really have to do the whole thing if you don't want to. You can just do bits and pieces of it. I'm gonna do a little bit of black. Ooh, doesn't that look nice? Wow. I love that. So that crayon worked really nicely. You can really see it kind of resisting. And nice dark. Oh, I love that. That looks so cool. Okay, that one's good. All right, so that's with watercolor. Now let's go ahead and move on to the sprays. Let's use some green on here. And we'll use some blue on this one. Ooh, interesting. And I'm gonna hit these with a little bit of water. So that one just absorbed right into the paper, and that could be the type of paper it is too. So it didn't really resist, but we can see our scribbles. And this one, because of the type of paper it is, it's kind of staying on the surface a little bit, which is kind of cool. That's what's fun about doing this kind of stuff. You really can kind of experiment some and see what it looks like. Now, what if we blotted this onto something else? Do I have a scrap available to blot that? Let me see. So these are just pieces of scrap paper, which also will end up being used for fodder in some way as well. Oh, that looks cool too. Oh, that looks so fun. Oh, pretty. Okay, and it picked up a little bit of the stuff on here too, so that's cool. And then we added more color to this friend. This was just a piece of copy paper, by the way. All right, so we're gonna set this one off to dry. Okay, so the Delusions or Distress sprays will absorb very quickly into certain things. So now we're gonna use this Delusions ink spray, and we'll see what that looks like. And I'm going to put it on here. And a little on here. Oh, that is very pink. I love it. And then maybe a little bit of this Distress. Maybe we will get it on our fingers instead. Okay, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of water and see what it looks like. I told you we would get kind of messy with this, but that's okay. Let that bleed out a little bit. Nice. Let's let this kind of move around with the water some and see where it goes. I'm not going to blot this one off, I don't think, because I want it to kind of get drippy, move around. Maybe a little more water. That's really cool. I like that. Could have even done more scribbling, or a different crayon might have worked better on that, but that's fine. Okay, now I can reach to set stuff down. This friend, what do you want to do, friend? I like it. I like that pink. That's perfect. Let you dry. Okay, next. So that's the sprays. So we tried those out. That could have a lot more fun things to do with them to see where they go. We did a little bit of mica, but we're going to do some more mica. Now let's do the powders. So this one and this one, these are our brights. Well, these are all going to be bright because these powders are definitely bright. So let's go ahead and do the orange. And this does not take much. So I'm just, you might not even see it on here. So there's just a little bit. There's the orange. Let's do a little purple on this one and see how it's going to go. So just a tiny bit. That was probably even a lot. Let's see here. Ready? We can always add more, but once it's down, you're stuck with it. So it is a pigment powder. I might need a little bit more purple because it didn't come out great out of the package. Oh, there we go. We're hitting it. So now that this is wet, let's go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more on it. That looks really cool though. So a little bit more purple on here. Let's mix it up a little. See if that helps. Okay. Okay, that's looking really cool. Okay, enough, Nancy, enough. It'll give it a second. Give it a second. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. But yeah, this is definitely working with the crayon resist really well. And this is, oh wow, that looks so cool. Let's give this a little. That's very wet. Maybe we can dribble it onto our other one that we were going to use pigment powder onto, or blot it onto it. Let's try it. Because this is great. Okay, here. One thing at a time, Nance. Whew, you're too excited. Too excited. I haven't even had that much coffee today, guys. Just like having fun. Like this will get you going to do all kinds of stuff for the day. This is better than coffee. Getting to play with some pretty colors. Oh, make a mess. Yes. Okay. Okay, this friend, we need to do something with you. Let's go ahead and dribble it onto this because there's a lot here yet. And there's still some of the powder that hasn't even activated, which is cool. This is going to be so wet. Okay. As she puts more paint on it or water on it. I love that for us. Okay, let's do. I'm going to hit it a little bit and let it drip off. Also, don't use washable crayon when you're doing this. And that, fun fact, washable crayon obviously will not resist because it will dissolve. Living dangerously here. Setting stuff on my ironing board, but I covered it with some papers to see. Okay, so let's use a paintbrush to spread this out a little bit. How about a clean paintbrush that doesn't have black watercolor in it? Let's do this, friend. I'm right now not even seeing the writing on here. I wonder if it was on the other side. Weird. Weird. Oh, I see it a little bit. Interesting. It was that side, wasn't it? Yes, it definitely was, because the other side is blank. Okay, well, just like with anything, you're not always going to get the same results with everything that you use. And maybe once it dries, it'll look a little bit different too. That's another thing. Also might have gotten it a little wet, but meh, what else? So while it's wet, let's add a little mica spray to it since we're not quite sure what's going to happen here. Hopefully this friend wants to work. A little bit. It's coming. Wants to. Ooh, look at that effect. How cool. Okay. I see you, friend. Interesting. It's definitely having a little bit of a reaction with the, I wish the sprayer would work. I really want it to work. Fine, be that way. It's like leaking out places. I guess we'll just do that then. So now we can see that resist. It started pushing the pigment away. That's going to look really interesting, I think, when it's done. I know this is not the way that you're supposed to use these. I am aware. But my sprayer will not work. Poopy. Okay. So let's leave that be and see what happens when this friend dries. Yes? No? Yes. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, okay. Hello, orange. Maybe we can activate it with some of our spray. Have we used this color? I know we used that one. Let's try this. See what happens. Oh yeah, that's how the sprayers are supposed to work. Ooh, okay, mica spray just with the resist. Very cool. Look at that fun friend. So that's our powder, pigment powders up there, and our mica oxide is down here. Oh, that looks so pretty. Do I have something to blot that with though? I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to get more color on it though. Do I have something plain? Yes, I do. Let's just get this. blot it a little bit. Let that soak into this. Yes. Oh, that looks cool too. Okay, now we're gonna leave that. See what it looks like when it dries. Okay, last but not least, first I'm gonna blot up some of this stuff really quick. And then we're gonna do some painty mixes. So we're basically gonna take some acrylic and water it down a little bit and see what we get from that. But might as well use what we got here. Okay, so here are our last couple of papers. And move these back out of the way. Here's our palette. We're gonna do some bright stuff. All right, let's do a purple. We aren't gonna need much paint because we're gonna water it down because we really just want it for its color. And acrylic doesn't always do great when you water it down, so we will see what happens. And hopefully this will actually, we'll be able to see the resist situation as well. So might have to spritz it with some water and see what we get. That's why I want to kind of do this so we can see what we get from our different options of supplies. So if you don't have watercolor, what can you use instead? If you don't have ink sprays, what can you use instead? So now I'm going to just hit this a little bit with some water. And then we're going to let that one dry. I like that. That looks really pretty. All right, next, friend. So this is another for the bright. Let's do this one in some orange. If I've got any orange left. Or let's do green. Green. Let's do a little green. So put some green over here. You know what? Let's try and hit it with that mica again and see what kind of an effect that has on this. That might be interesting to see if it'll make our lines show up a little better. Let's find out. Plus, you know, it's worth a shot to experiment, right? Let's go ahead and let our dribbles go onto this friend. Not under him, on top of him. Since that one is going to be a neutral anyway, and this one didn't end up turning out as bright as I wanted, but it's still going to be great for background fodder for whatever. Maybe when it dries, we'll see the resist a little better. Okay, this friend. Hello, friend. You have green, acrylic, and maybe a big floofy brush. Do I have a big floofy brush? I have a fan brush. Let's try that one. Just to get this on here a little. And see what we see. You know what we're gonna do? That's not very fun. That's kind of meh. let's do, because when you have stuff a little meh, make it less meh. Technical terms here, friends. And that just went right into it. Cool. Interesting. This is a coloring book page. Random one left over from, fell out of the book that it was in. I don't know. Okay, so that is, let's do a little bit of, did we ever use the teal? I don't know if we did. Whoa, not that side. We'll just throw a little mica powder on here. Why not, right? Maybe. Whoa, that was a lot. Oh my. Okay. Very vibrant. Just kind of move it around here. Put you, oh, let's put it on that. Still so much on here. That was a little much, Nance, a little much. We will see what it looks like when it dries too, because we may have a completely different kind of effect once this friend is all dry. I want to get it up more up on his face. Like I said, this is for background fodder or whatever. You could use it in pages in your journals too. All right. Move these so I can set it over here to dry. Wow. That's very dark. There. Okay, friend. What do we got happening? Let that bleed out some. So this is cardstock. Kind of like those heavy splatters in the middle there. Interesting, interesting, interesting. We'll just see what it looks like. We're just having a play. Doing what we do. All right, we'll let that one dry. Wow, so wet. Is it going to take a minute to dry unless we get out the heat gun? Probably not. Last one. All right, we were going to do acrylic. We're going to do acrylic on this. What do we want to do on it? Let's do pink. Oh, neon. Some neon red. See how that works. Woo! She bright. She bright, she bright. But we wanted bright. That was the goal for some of this stuff. So let's see what we have happen. And this had some other little splatters of some things on it anyway. So we are going to let everything dry now, and then I shall come back and show you when everything's dry. So, all right, all of our papers are dry. I had to end up leaving them until, so it's the next day actually, because it started raining again outside, so I can't record in the rain because of the metal roof. So anyway, let's take a look at these and see how they turned out. I'm going to try and remember which thing I did with which, but we'll see. So this was watercolor. You cannot see the resist very well on this one. It's still pretty. We can still use it for things. If you're wondering what book this is from a book of The Onion, which is fake news. It's a whole big book where they make, like, it's satire and stuff. This is watercolor as well, but then we did some drops of the mica spray. I think it turned out really pretty. That'll be really fun to use. This one I think is great. I love how this turned out. It doesn't even show up as nearly as well on camera as it does in real life, but this one is watercolor as well. It's great. This one also watercolor. You can see that it did resist even up here with the white a little bit as well. Then this friend, I like this one. This one is great. This will be really useful because we had some of the little residual from jelly plating, and then you can see the resist from the crayon, and then of course the watercolor paint. All right, this one is that spray, the inky spray by Delusions. So this obviously covers the crayon a bit, and it soaked through some. So it's still really great. That's very useful for collage fodder. And then this one turned out really fun. So this was some of the pigment powder, and then the mica spray as well. And this one is so pretty. So you can see the iridescent mica spray on there. And then, oh, what did we use? This was also pigment powder, and a lot of it too. So it kind of got a full wash on that. And then this one was pigment powder, which we blotted. And it accidentally, the blotting paper that I used had some distress spray on it. So that kind of soaked in a little bit too. So that one's great. This one, acrylic paint and the mica spray as well. Really fun. This one was with acrylic over top of, so really quick acrylic paint. This one also, we did acrylic over top, so watered down acrylic. And then this friend, this one had a lot of color. I'm surprised it didn't soak through. And that had that pigment powder as well, and we also did some mica spray on that one. This one, same. This was the one that had I dribbled it down from this guy. I dribbled it on there. And then a bunch of the mica spray too. And then this was one of our blotting papers that I used. So that's fun. So that was from the orange mica powder, or oh my goodness, pigment powder. The pigment powder and then mica spray that I blotted. This one turned out great. I love that. So we had our pigment powder on there as well. Really fun. This one was the Tim Holtz Distress Spray. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the side that we scribbled and everything on. This is another, this had been previously either coffee dyed or eco dyed as well. And it didn't take a lot of color, so now it's more fun. This one is, I like this one actually. The blobby sprays. This was the inky sprays as well. This is one of our blotting papers. And then here's our map. We used the pigment powder on there. You can still see some of the residual on there. And then our last blotting paper that I used to pull up some stuff. So there you go. So kind of tried to do some resist they're not exactly how I had intended them to be. That does happen sometimes. But I still think they're going to be great for collage fodder, even like a page in a journal. These could be really fun to add in as a page in a journal. You already have some backgrounds done this way as well. So lots of uses for these friends. And probably what I will do in a future video is show you guys some uses for these papers. And then we'll kind of take it to another way, show you some other stuff, show you what you can do with some of these things and how you can use them and stuff like that. So anyway, that is that, and that's what I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And first and foremost, art with your heart. You guys have a great day. Bye.